Hi plant friends, the best mail is plant mail. I've got another unboxing for you. I ordered some more orchids. More orchids from orchidmart.ca. Plant friends, I'm really enjoying their pre-order sale. It's getting me into a lot of trouble. Check out the leaves on this orchid. They're so beautiful. This one's looking really healthy. Let's see what the roots look like later on when I do a repotting. I used to have this orchid and somehow it died, so I'm glad to replace it for only $28. I really enjoy their pre-order pricing. So far the roots are looking good. And plant friends, this one's very fragrant. It's a cross between Violacea and Bellina. Flower is really gorgeous, but super fragrant. Next we've got Phalaenopsis Harjan Fancy. This one was a total impulse purchase. I couldn't resist the flowers, plant friends. Isn't this yummy? Now this plant was also a bit on the expensive side. It was $36. From what I can see, the roots are looking good. Next we've got a Cymbidium, it's an Encephalium Chanyu Demo. And in the pre-order, this one was only $31. Let's have a peek at those roots. They're okay, not too bad for a freshly imported plant. The bulb is looking nice and plump, and I picked this one because of the slight variegation on the leaves. And the flowers is gorgeous, and this one's said to be super fragrant. Next we've got Cymbidium Enzen Obrangulae. This one was $46. Let's get a look at these roots. The roots are not the best, so let's see how this one fares after a repotting and a couple of months to acclimate. I can see a new growth, but the roots on this are not very good. Here's a look at the flower. It's pretty beautiful. Let's get these guys potted up. First, I'll give them a nice drink of water with a drop of Super Thrive. Nice healthy roots on Phalaenopsis Hargin Fancy, and she's working on a flower spike. The roots on Phalaenopsis Samara are good. The leaves are a little bit thin from dehydration, so this one will really enjoy a nice drink. For the Cymbidiums, the roots are not very good, so I'm going with a media that's a little bit more water retentive. This media will be orchid bark, perlite, charcoal, and sphagnum moss. Also, since it's winter, retentive media is a little bit better for me since it's quite dry in my home. Ideally, I would recommend to go with some kind of bonsai mix or do your own mixture, some fine orchid bark, perlite with lava rocks, and maybe a little bit of peat moss. And I definitely don't want to pot these too deep. I want the pseudo bulbs not fully covered by the media. The roots on this one was especially bad, but I'm not going to cut off all the roots. I'm going to leave some of the roots so the plant will be a little bit more stable in the pot. I definitely don't want this too top heavy and to tumble over. Now, since these babies are new, I'm going to monitor them over the next 3 weeks. One of the things that I'm going to do to test if it needs water is by checking the sphagnum moss. If it's soft to the touch, then I won't water, but if it's dry and crunchy, I'll definitely give these a nice soak. When I water these, I'm going to add a little bit of fertilizer, but it's going to be a very weak solution. I'm so happy to have a Samara back in my collection, and she had a nice drink of water. Her leaves have firmed up nicely. The media for this will be a chunky bark mixture, which includes charcoal and perlite. A nice chunky mixture, it even has some large chunks of perlite. While potting up, I'm pushing a few of the roots to the side of the pot. I like to see the roots to know when they need watering. Here you can see the roots are nice and green, well hydrated. In a couple of days I'll check to see if they're gray, then I'll give it another soak. Now take a look at the roots on Phalaenopsis Hargin Fancy. Wow, very impressive. These roots are so nice and healthy. Almost forgot that she's got a spike. We've got to make sure I don't smother that. Nicely potted up. Now I'm going to run a little bit of water through the media just to make sure some of the dust and debris is washed out. I actually don't like pre-soaking the media before repotting. I find that the media tends to soak up a lot of water and takes forever to dry out. Wow, you can see in the water how much dust and debris has been washed off the media. And for the Phalaenopsis, when you water them, if you get water in the center of the crown, remember to dry it out. If water sits in the crown for too long, you can get crown rot. Still have the sticker on the leaf. It's actually really hard to get off, so I'll leave it on for a little bit more. Hopefully it will drop off on its own. And here's that little spike, so let's dry up the excess water from around this baby. Plant friends, here's an update. After a couple of months, the spike has lengthened on the Phalaenopsis Hargin Fancy. The roots are looking very good, and she's pushed out a lot of new roots as well. We still have a month or so to go before we see some flowers. Now let's take a look at Phalsamera. The roots are looking very good, and she's working on a new leaf. She's a warm growing orchid, so I don't expect to see a spike until next summer. The Cymbidiums are also doing very good. The leaves are nice and healthy, and the pseudobulb nice and plump. This is the Cymbidium that I was most worried about, but this one's recovered nicely. 2 new growth on this baby, and look at those leaves, nice and healthy. Here's the second new growth. Oh, so nice. I'm excited to see these new growths because sometimes it can take Cymbidiums up to 2 years to bloom. Thanks for watching, plant friends. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and follow me on Instagram at Life of Bellina.